Good day, everyone. So I hope you are all having a great day today. So this will be the video lecture of the discussion of our final module in our subject Aircraft Structures 2 AMT 4201. Okay, so for those who have attended last meeting, so we've tackled physical properties. So physical properties revolves in the density. So when the aircraft or the material you have choose to be doon sa bubuo sa inyong aircraft structure or doon sa aircraft design, so it's a matter of density. So kapag low density, so low weight, okay, low density weight, and thus imagine kung nandun siya sa inyong aircraft, so kapag nag-consume siya ng fuel, mas less yung fuel consumption. Okay. Yeah. Nakita nyo sa screen. Less fuel consumption. So, again, so when talking about physical property, so it all revolves to the density. So weight, and kung nasa aircraft siya, less fuel consumption. So, proper strength to weight ratio din. So, included din siya sa physical properties. So, when dealing naman mechanical properties is all about, as you can see in the screen, so minimum weight, so strength to weight ratio, dapat excellent yung strength to weight ratio. Okay, and dapat maximum strength, or yung kasama dito yung mga loading. So, kaya ba niya i-resist yung mga stresses and loading. And stiffness. So, when talking about stiffness, it all involves elastic modulus. Okay? So, fatigue, durability, kasama po sa mechanical property. So, si fatigue, durability po, siya po yung ability ng material or metal material to resist the formation of crack and to resist the propagation of crack. Although we've tackled na si fatigue po ay normal na nangyayari sa normal operation ng ating aircraft. Okay? So, there are two conditions when dealing in fatigue. So, every structure na makaka-experience ng fatigue ay dapat po may tendency. The first one, dapat meron siyang tendency to form a crack. So, that's the first one. So, second is dapat yung any material or structure na makaka-experience ng fatigue na merong crack ay may tendency to propagate a crack. So, si fatigue durability, yun yung resistance ng mga nabanggit, no? And the next, under the mechanical properties is damage tolerance. So, ano ba si damage tolerance? So, si damage tolerance po, ito yung ability ng isang material na merong damage or merong defect na mag-sustain pa or i-sustain pa or withstand pa yung damage na walang nangyaring fracture or catastrophic failure. So, okay. So, meron pang ibang criteria, no? Although natakalan natin to during our previous discussion. So, chemical properties, kasama po dito yung corrosion resistance and oxidation. Although, some articles said na yung corrosion resistance ay part ng mechanical properties. Okay? So, yan. So, thermal and electrical properties, kino-consider din po siya, and cost and availability. Siyempre po, ang ating aviation ay, or ang aviation industry ay business po, no? So, balikan natin yung physical properties. So, yung weight po will cause an aircraft. So, kapag, syempre, madami yung payload, so, kailangan ng additional cost to sustain dun sa ating structure. So, although when choosing a minimum weight na material na gagamitin sa aircraft construction po natin, hindi po dapat makompromise yung safety. Kaya po tayo ay gumagawa ng stress analysis or yung stress strain test, kung naaalala nyo po. Okay. So, as you can see sa screen, so, dito sa chart na to, although hindi ito mapapasama sa exam or sa recitation. So, para lang magkaroon kayo ng overview kung ano yung mga composition ng material na nagko-compose sa isang aircraft. Makikita nyo sa Boeing 737, sa Airbus A340, 330, A380, 787, papunta sa F-22 Raptor. So, kung mapapansin nyo po, sa Boeing 737, so 81% yung composition ng structure niya ay aluminum. And mapapansin nyo po, nagkaroon ng decrease. Papunta sa F-22 Raptor. So, 11% na lang yung aluminum composition. And punta po tayo sa composite. So, sa Boeing 737, ang composition niya ay 3%. And sa Airbus series ng Airbus A340, papunta sa 330. So, yan, 17%. And then, sa Boeing 787, kapansin-pansin na 50% ng structure niya ay composite. So, F-22, so ito po ay fighter aircraft, military aircraft, so 35% yung composite. Okay. So, again, dito, for your ano lang to, visuals. Okay. Okay. So, to have a brief idea kung ano yung properties ng each material na i-discuss natin. So, ito po yung table. Ito yung, for visuals lang din po to, no? Mapapansin nyo, si aluminum ay mas mura kumpara sa titanium. And itong nickel alloy, so hindi ko na po ito isinama dito sa ating discussion. Although ito po ay for your visuals. So, ito yung mga characteristics niya compared sa mga material. Pansin-pansin na si composite ay expensive and sa weight niya, so very light. Okay. So, okay. So, before we proceed dun sa discussion ng specific, in-depth discussion ng specific material na ginagamit sa aircraft structures or sa pagbuo ng sa aircraft construction, or aerospace yung term, kasi more on kapag construction, more on aerospace yung ginagamit po na term, no? Okay. So, before we proceed dun sa mga metal na ginagamit sa ating aircraft structure, paano nga ba binubuo ang isang aluminum alloy? So, we all know na alloy. So, mixing siya or mix ng metal and non-metal na material to form an aluminum alloy. Okay? So, ano nga ba itong annealing? So, pinoform po yung mga alloy na yun by means of annealing. Okay. So, si annealing po ay yung heat treatment na binabago niya po yung physical properties kasama yung chemical properties ng metal na gagawin as aluminum alloy. So, again, ito po ay pag-form ng aluminum alloy by means of annealing. So, annealing, heat treatment na binabago yung physical properties kasama yung chemical properties ng isang material para sa mabuo ang aluminum alloy. So, with this process po, yung material po ay dinidecrease yung hardness and ini-increase yung ductility. Okay. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga aluminum alloy na heat treated? Okay. So, ito po ay ina-anneal, yung heat treatment po ay temperature ranges na 900 to 1050 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. So, the first one, yung 2000 series, although we will discuss this later. So, si 2000 series, ang main alloying element niya ay copper. So, 6000 series, main alloying element niya, yung pinagsama magnesium and silicon. And so, yung 7000 series naman po, ang main alloying element niya ay zinc. Okay. So, merong mga aluminum alloy na hindi siya na minimal. Okay. Sorry for the term now. So, minimal po yung ginagamit na heat treatment. So, ang tawag sa kanilang mga aluminum alloy ay non-heat treated na mga aluminum alloy. So, pinoform yung alloy nila or aluminum alloy nila as a whole by means of cold working. Okay, so ito niro-roll yung mga metal and non-metal material para pagsamahin or nilalagay sila sa isang die, ini-stretch. So, ang tawag doon ay cold working. So, itong cold working tinatawag din siyang straining process. Okay. So, ano-ano nga ba yung mga sample ng non-heat treated aluminum alloy? So, yung series na 1,000, so pure aluminum po yon. Yung 3,000 series, manganese po yung main alloying element. So, 4,000 series, silicon po yung main alloying element. And 5,000 series, magnesium po ang kanyang main alloying element. So, baka may makapagtanong po, no? So, inaanil din po itong mga to. Itong non-heat treated aluminum alloy. Pero, very minimal. Doon lang sa mga arc nung mga metal sheet yung inaanil or yung hini-heat treatment. So, kaya siya ay tinawag na cold working process. Okay. Okay. So, aluminum alloy. So, ito yung una nating i-discuss. So, si aluminum alloy na introduce sa aviation or aerospace construction or aerospace engineering. So, ganun po yung mga term when it comes to construction. So, aluminum alloy, 1920 po siya firstly na-introduce. Okay. So, yan. So, si aluminum alloy, siya yung widely used na non-ferrous metal. So, yan. So, attractive properties. We will discuss this more of this later. So, high strength to weight ratio, good ductility, good corrosion resistance, availability, and kapansin-pansin, low cost po si aluminum alloy. So, na-introduce to year 1920 again. So, si aluminum alloy po ay non-ferrous. So, pag sinabi pong non-ferrous, no iron content. Okay, no iron. No iron content po si aluminum alloy. Okay, so ito yung mga mapapasamang mga grade ng aluminum alloy dito sa ating. So, pag sinabi kong mapapasama, so mapapasama sa recitation and sa ating final term examination. Okay, so listen. Okay, so the first one is yung aluminum alloy grade 2024. Although may mga ibang article, aluminum alloy 2024. So, isa lang yun. Kung may grade or wala, so yun, isa lang po yun. Nire-refer nila. They all refer sa same thing. So, aluminum alloy 2024. So, again, 2000 series. Main alloying element niya ay si copper. So, kilala itong aluminum alloy grade 2024 for its high strength to weight ratio. And itong 2024 na to, na aluminum grade, alloy grade, so ginagamit po siya sa wing and fuselage structures dahil sa kanyang mataas na tensile strength or yung ability niya to resist tension, stress. The next grade ng aluminum alloy is yung 5052. Okay? So, itong 5052, so main alloying element niya ay si magnesium. Okay? So, baka makapansin, sir, bakit po si magnesium? Si magnesium po ay madaling mag-corrode. So, keep in mind na ang nire-refer po natin dito ay aluminum alloy, hindi pure magnesium, no? Okay. So, itong 5,000 series, yung mga 5,000 series, itong specifically 5052, ginagamit po siya dun sa mga sa usage ng yung purpose ng mga amphibious aircraft. So yung mga aircraft na yon exposed sa salt water, no, or saline environment. So ito meron siyang high resistance sa corrosion. So na dahil sa salt water. Okay. So that's aluminum alloy grade 5052. Okay. So punta po tayo sa aluminum grade 6061. Si aluminum grade 6061 po, meron siyang good mechanical properties and easily weld po siya. Kasama na rin po dito, madali po siyang i-form. Okay? So, aerospace application niya, ginagamit rin siya sa wing and fuselage structures. Okay. So, may term na na-introduce dito, home-built aircraft. So, si home-built aircraft, ito yung ginagawang mga aircrafts na privately, okay, binubuo. Okay. So, baka may makapagtanong po, no? Ito po ay nare-registered din, itong mga home-built aircraft na to, no? So, bago sila mag-operate, dapat meron po silang registration and airworthiness certificate. Okay. So, the next one, part ng 6000 series ay yung 6063. Itong 6063, gaya rin po siya ng 6061. Madali po siyang i-weld, madali po din siyang i-form. Pero kilala siya sa tawag na architectural alloy. Okay. So, kilala din siya sa kanyang excellent finish characteristics or pag na-coat siya. So, excellent yung kanyang pag-bind sa coating. Okay. Okay. So, the next one is yung mga 7000 series. So, they are 7050, 7068, and 7075. So, the first one is yung 7050. So, si 7050 at saka si 7075 ay parehas, pero mas lamang po si 7050. So, kilala po silang dalawa sa great corrosion resistance, sa durability. Kaso po, ang lamang ni 7050 po, yung mga properties na yon ay nape-preserve niya, na-maintain niya ng mas matagal kumpara kay 70 75. Okay, as you can see in the slide, no? So, 7050, so able to maintain the resistance of fractures and corrosion kumpara kay 7075. But you can use 7075 as alternative sa 7050. Okay. So, the next one is yung 7068. So, si aluminum alloy grade 7068. So, ito daw yung strongest type ng aluminum alloy na available sa aviation market. So, high strength to weight ratio and excellent corrosion resistance. So, again, si 7068 ang strongest type ng aluminum alloy na currently available. So, correct me if I'm wrong, no? Okay. So, the next one is yung 7075. So, again, yung 7000 series po, main alloying element ay zinc, no? Si 7075 po ay kilala sa kanyang high strength to weight ratio and good machinability. Madali siyang i-weld and madali ring i-form. And yung kanyang resistance sa fatigue and fracture. And itong 7075, siya po yung unang ginamit as airframe skin ng fighter aircraft or military aircraft na Mitsubishi A6M0. Okay. So, ginamit tong aircraft na to specifically noong World War II. Okay? So, yan. So, that's all for aluminum alloy. So, this table, so para meron kayong visual. So, again, for visuals po ito, no? Hindi nyo to makikita sa exam or sa recitation. Para lang meron kayong idea. Okay? Okay. So, ito, so more on dagdag dun sa mga na-discuss kanina, no? So, 2000 series, so main alloying element, copper. So, strong, machinable, fair corrosion resistance, kaso poor formability, and difficult to weld ang 2000 series. Okay, so the next one is yung 5000 series, gaya na banggit kanina. So, magnesium yung kanyang main alloying element. So, yung 5000 series ay strong, formable, excellent corrosion resistance, lalo na po sa saline environment, sa mga malapit sa coastal area. So, kaya ginagamit siya madalas sa mga amphibious aircraft. And itong 5000 series po ay weldable. Okay, so the next one is yung mga 6000 series. So, ang kanyang main alloying element, pinagsama magnesium and silicon. So, itong mga 6000 series na aluminum alloy grade po ay strong, formable, good corrosion resistance, and weldable. So, kasama dito, madali din po siyang i-form. So, example nito, yung home-built aircraft. Ang pangalan po ng aircraft na to ay Steeds SA-3-3A Playboy CF Rad. So, ginawa po ito, na-release noong 1995. So, ito po ay may permit. Registered po ito, no? Meron siyang airworthiness certificate. So, yun yung mga properties ng mga 6000 series. Kaya siya applicable gamitin sa pagbuo nitong mga home-built aircraft na to. Okay. So, the next one is yung 7000 series. So, main alloying element niya ay zinc. Although may makikita kayo nito, Pero mostly, so generally pala, so sorry for the term, so si zinc yung kanyang main alloying element. So basta 7000 series, main alloying element niya ay zinc. So itong mga 7000 series na aluminum alloy, so very high strength, machinable, fair to reasonable corrosion resistance, kaso poor weldability. Kaya po ito naka-form na ilalabas ng mga supplier or manufacturer, no? Pero meron silang mold. Okay. So ginagamit din to, so, maliban sa airframe skin, ginagamit din siya sa mga propeller blade and sa turbine fan blades ng ating mga gas turbine engine, as you can see in the presentation. Okay. So, ito yung in general na mga characteristics ng aluminum alloy, kaya siya ay ginagamit sa aerospace. Okay. So, meaning aerospace, again, engineering and construction ng mga aircraft, no? Okay. Kasama pala manufacturing. Okay. Okay. So, si aluminum alloy, ito yung mga characteristics niya. Light, strong, high strength to weight ratio. So, ductile at low temperature. So, meron siyang good ductility and resilient. So, we'll get back to this resilience or resiliency for those na bago pa lang sa pandinig, no? We will tackle that later. So, corrosion resistant and non-toxic. So, si aluminum alloy, meron din siyang good thermal conductivity, reflective and electric current conducting din siya. So, non-magnetic po si aluminum alloy, non-sparking, and non-combustible. Okay, so ito, non-combustible, kasama to sa chemical properties. Okay. Okay, so ito na po yan, no? So, resiliency. So, for those po na hindi pa alam kung ano meaning ng resiliency, baka lang po ma-encounter nyo sa inyong in near future na theoretical course sa inyong OJT or sa maintenance training program in the future. So, si resiliency po ay ang ability ng any material to absorb energy and to be formed elastically. So, that's resiliency or resilient material for you. Okay? Okay, so in this slide, so ito ay for your visuals, no? So ito yung mga use ng mga aluminum alloy. So ginamit siya sa fuel tank, ginamit siya sa cowlings, baffle plating, airframe skin, as you can see in the screen, yan, landing mats, and so on. Okay. So again, for your visuals only po ito, no? Okay, so the next material na ginagamit sa ating aerospace or aircraft construction is yung titanium alloy. So si titanium alloy, kilala po siya sa kanyang high strength and high physical properties, high mechanical properties, and excellent thermal conductivity. And itong titanium alloy, hindi po siya nag-e-expand sa high temperature. Okay? So this one, so burn resistant, damage tolerant, so high temperature, ano siya, conductivity siya, high thermal conductivity and high strength and toughness. So you will see or you will encounter na mga iba't ibang type ng titanium alloy. So pero may ipipinpoint lang tayo na isang grade ng titanium alloy, no? Okay, so be familiar. So please do note this. So be familiar with this titanium alloy grade. So that's called TI6A I4B. So siya po yung workhorse or general purpose na high strength na titanium alloy. Pero may mga makikita pa po kayo dito na iba't ibang grade ng titanium alloy. So for your visuals po ito, no? So hindi ko na po kayo ibobombard pa ng mga information regarding this or for your visuals para meron kayong idea and kung saan siya ginagamit. Okay. So titanium alloy mostly ginagamit sa mga military aircraft. As you can see on the screen and dun sa ating mga turbine fan blades or engine components. So may titanium alloy din po doon. Okay. So, si titanium alloy, so ginagamit din siya sa mga cockpit, cockpit window frame, wing box fastener, hydraulic pipe, landing gear, track beam, exhaust and tail cone, and ductings. So, kasi nga meron siyang good physical properties, excellent mechanical properties, and meron siyang, so ito yung kanyang kaakit-akit na properties, yung kanyang thermal conductivity. So, high thermal conductivity po ito. Okay, so itong slide na to for your marketing purposes. Okay. As you can see, so Eurofighter Typhoon aircraft. So ayan, weight saving, heat resistant to embrittlement at low temperature, high corrosion resistance, and low thermal expansion. Okay. Kapag si titanium alloy is an object sa high temperature, so hindi siya agad-agad mag-expand. Okay, so the next material na ginagamit sa aerospace or sa aircraft construction is yung magnesium alloy. Although palagi natin tong natatakel si magnesium alloy, no, dahil sa kanyang mga properties. So si magnesium alloy po, so although alam na natin, paulit-ulit sinasabi ni sir na siya ay merong high tendency na mag-corrode, pero yung kanyang physical properties, yung kanyang mechanical properties po ay kagaya po ng aluminum alloy. Kaso lang po, ang pinagkaiba, hindi niya po na-maintain or very short time lang niya na ganun yung properties niya, yung physical properties niya, yung mechanical properties niya. Kumpara sa aluminum alloy, short time niya lang na maintain o na preserve. And thus, attracting, very high attractive siya sa corrosion or sa electrochemical process ng corrosion. Okay? Okay. So, si magnesium alloy, so yan. So, ito yung mga properties niya. Although, for your visuals po ito, no? Ito application, ginagamit siya sa gearboxes and gearbox housings. Okay. So, natanggal na ba si magnesium alloy sa ating aviation market or sa ating commercial market ng aerospace or aircraft construction? So, the answer is hindi pa naman po. Okay. So, hindi pa pala. No? Sorry for that term. So, si magnesium alloy, ginagamit pa rin po siya. Although, very minimal po. Okay, so ginagamit siya dito. So, CAS helicopter transmission housing. So, sa automotive, so yan. So, let's skip automotive. So, sa aerospace, landing wheels, gearbox housing, and helicopter rotor fitting. So, some of it is magnesium alloys. And pati po sa ating mga interiors like seats. O yan. So, magnesium alloy. Rudder pedal, magnesium alloy. So, makikita nyo po dito, iba't ibang magnesium alloy grade. So, for your visuals po ito, no, hindi na po yung mapapasama. Be familiar na lang kung saan siya madalas gamitin. And skip itong automotive na to part. Okay. So, fun fact, si magnesium alloy, siya po ang mas naunang gamitin kumpara kay aluminum alloy as airframe skin. So, mas nauna si magnesium alloy as airframe skin. Kaso nga po, yung kanyang physical properties and mechanical properties, hindi niya po ganong katagal na pre-preserve. Kaya po madaling mag-fracture yung kanyang structure, madaling ma-corrode yung kanyang structure. Okay, so that's magnesium alloy for you. Okay, the next is C-steel. Okay, so C-steel po ay 3 times stronger than aluminum. So, ibig sabihin, 3 times stronger. Ibig sabihin yung density niya ay 3 times stronger din. So, pag mas mataas yung density, mas mabigat po yun. So, kaya, as a aerospace composition, so 11 to 13% nung composition ng aircraft ay steel. So, madalas siyang gamitin sa mga hinges, cable, fasteners, kung saan yung key ay strength. Okay. So, yep. Okay, so more on attachment. If you imagine an aircraft made full of steel, okay, so gaano kabigat nyo? Lilipat ba si aircraft nun? Okay, siguro in the future. Okay. Okay, so yan. So, ginagamit si steel, sorry, so steel sa engine exhaust component, landing gear component, and yung sa superstructure joints. Ito yung mga attachment po ng ating mga components and sa structure. Okay, so yan, makikita nyo, ang ating density ni steel ay medyo malaki kumpara dun sa mga iba, no? Okay, so let's proceed sa composite. Okay, so si composite material, so can be formed in various shape if desired. The fibers can be wound tightly to increase strength. So useful feature ng composite is that they can be layered with the fibers in each layer running in different direction. Okay, so the term composite, so hindi na to masyadong ginagamit nowadays, no? So ang ginagamit na po ay today ay advanced composite na term. Advanced composite. So ito na po yung ginagamit nowadays. Kasi po, meron na tayong mga innovation in dealing composite and in creating new advanced composite. So ito na po yung ginagamit. Okay. So baka kasi may nakita kayong article, composite. Dati, dun sa isang article naman, advanced composite. So ito medyo upgraded na yun. Kung may mababasa kayong article. So advanced composite na. Okay. So si composite po ay ang una niyang usage ay hindi po sa aviation industry. So ang unang usage ni composite po ay sa mga space shuttles. Okay. So ang gamit ni composite doon ay to create a module that can protect yung ating mga astronaut do sa radiation. Okay. So and allows added strength than metal. Oh, okay. So, yan. Meron siyang high strength to weight ratio. And, after this usage, so, sinabi nila pwede natin i-integrate si composite sa aviation industry. And dahil sa kanyang good physical properties, mechanical properties, and chemical properties. Okay. So, kapag si aircraft ay may composite or may advanced composite composition sa kanyang structure, so lighter. So kapag mas magaan, mas mabilis, and yung ating composite or yung ating advanced composite na mga structure ay stronger kumpara dun sa steel. Ay, kumpara dun sa, sorry for the term. Kumpara dun sa other metal. So si steel ay mas stronger kaso mas mabigat, no? Sorry. Okay. Okay. So, advanced composite material. So, combination ng mga high-strength stiff fibers, embedded in a common matrix, generally laminated with flies. So, yeah. So, sinasabi yung advanced component composition ng ating mga aircraft nowadays ay 50%. Okay? Okay. So, yeah. So, ang unang forms ng advanced composite ay yung form na to, boron. Okay? So, pero nowadays, ginagamit halos ay yung sa Kevlar. Okay, so you can see here in this table, so this type of aircraft, specific type, and advanced composite application. Kung anong type ng kanyang advanced composite na ginamit. Okay. And the usage. So, this table is for your visuals only, no? Okay. So, in this slide, so, sa, military aircraft po ito. Okay, nakita nyo dyan kung saan siya ginamit. So, composite. Or advanced composite, rather. Okay. So, si Airbus A380, okay, ito yung 20 to 22% ay composite by weight and also extensive use nung, so introduce natin si Glare, glass fiber reinforced aluminum alloy. So ito ay, or yung term na ginagamit nowadays, Glare composite. Okay, as you can see here. So weight saving yung ina-offer ni Glare. So 15 and 30% over aluminum alloy along with good fatigue resistance. Okay. Okay. So sa Airbus A380, so yan, gumamit na ng bagong isa pang term sa Advanced Composite, CFRP. So makikita nyo, yan. Mga parts na yan. So, Advanced Composite. Yan. So ito, pinapakita po dito yung mga innovation. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, yung yellow portion or yellow part po ay glare. Okay. Glare composite po yan. So, resulting, yung paggamit ng glare ay 15 tons in weight saving. Airbus A380. Okay. So, sa Boeing 777 po, so, 20% yung composition niya po ay composite. Okay. So, ito po yung mga other part na gawa sa composite. As you can see. Okay. So, weight improvements by using advanced composite. Makikita nyo po dito for your visuals. Yan. So, this source is Boeing, the company itself. Okay, so Boeing 777, so yan. So, by using advanced composite, nakasave sila na 1,500 pounds in weight. Okay. For empennage po yun. Okay. So, merong iba't ibang types ng composite, pero hindi na tayo mag-dive into this. So, polymer matrix composite, metal matrix composite, kasama dito yung glare, and ceramic matrix composite. So, for your visuals po, no? Okay. So, ano ba yung mga properties ng mga advanced composite? So, lagyan natin dito para ma-emphasize. So, advanced composite material. So, the first one, corrosion resistance. So, stiffness, thermal conductivity, directionality, ultimate elongation, and elastic elongation. Kung maalala niya po, what is elongation? Okay. So, electrical conductivity, fire resistance, and chemical resistance. So, ito yung mga properties ng advanced composite. Okay. So, as you can see, for your visuals, parang minamarket ko si composite. So, hindi po, no? Okay. So, ganun lang po. In-emphasize lang natin yung kanyang good, properties or excellent properties. Okay. So, as you all know, so ginagamit natin si Kevlar in our advanced composite construction. Okay? So, durability, kilala siya sa pagiging durability, lightweight, strength, stiffness, and thermal and fire protection. So, increase fuel efficiency dahil nga mas magaan kapag advanced composite. And si Kevlar ay yung material coupon in making advanced composite. So, high tensile strength, high toughness, and high chemical stability, and higher temperature in aromatic polyamides. Okay? So, combustion protection material. Kaso po, ang downside ni Kevlar ay very poor siya when it comes to sunlight or yung exposure sa UV ray. Eh sir, bakit po siya ginagamit sa advanced composite? So meron po siyang, may mga tinitreat po yan yung mga Kevlar natin. So we will go back to that later, no? Okay, so ano ba yung dalawang famous na Kevlar na ginagamit as a material coupon ng ating advanced composite? Okay, as you can see, yung Kevlar 29 and Kevlar 48. So, si Kevlar 29, meron siyang elongation and break ay 3.6% kumpara sa Kevlar 49, 2.4%. Okay, on the modulus elasticity, so lamang si Kevlar 49 ng 30% kumpara kay Kevlar 29. So, high-level Kevlar properties observed not only at high temperature but also at low Arctic temperature. So, question, sino yung ginagamit nowadays as a material material coupon ng ating advanced composite? So, the answer is yung Kevlar 49. So, ito na po yung ginagamit nowadays. Not Kevlar 29. Siguro si Kevlar 29 for the minimum mga areas. So, pero mostly si Kevlar 49 po. And balik tayo sa Kevlar, no? Si Kevlar, meron siyang weakness. Yun yung exposure sa UV ray. Sir, bakit po ganun? Lagi pong lumilipad si aircraft sa exposure sa sunlight. So, tinitreat to. Okay, gaya ng nasabi ko kanina. So, by means of tinitreat po siya ng silicon carbide and titanium oxide nanoparticles. So, ito, mga processes na to, and mga nanoparticles na to, ito yung nagpo-provide ng thermal stability dun sa ating Kevlar fiber surface through intermolecular adhesion. So, you can search this sa internet para doon sa mga curious one. Pero, yan. So, ito. Tinitreat siya ng silicon carbide and titanium oxide nanoparticles para ma-cover yung kanyang 4 UV ray na weakness. Okay? So, yun. I think that's it for our final module discussion. So, if you have any questions and clarification, curious questions, you can message me para ma-clarify and masagot kung meron man tanong. Okay? So, itong discussion na to, so information from this, so yung mga sinabi ko na kasama and mga hindi kasama na sinabi ko for visuals, so hindi po yung kasama. So, expect na kasama po yung mga the rest sa ating gagawing recitation, nalalapit na recitation, and sa ating final term examination. So, I will send sa group chat a copy of the updated compilation and discussion in this final term. So, yep. So, that's it for today. So, I think I covered all nung topic sa ating final term. And see you face to face next meeting. Okay, keep safe everyone. Have a great day and have a great day ahead if you listen to this early morning. So, yun.